All right. Uh, Good evening. This is Belinda, and welcome to Bible Talks with Belinda. I'm going to timestamp this video due to the significance of it. Today is December 24th, 2023, so it is Christmas Eve, and I am just the time is now 5:51. I am sharing a dream that I had last night. The guy that you see on the screen, his name is Yuval Noah Harari, and he is an Israeli author, publisher, and I guess in semi ambassador. He has visited the UN. He has the one of the number one in 2018. He had the best one of the best selling books on the New York Times regarding Homo sapiens. I think the name of the book is Sapiens. And he is a professing atheist. He is also a homosexual. He is a vegan. And he is someone of interest. He has been added to my list of candidates for the Antichrist after studying him and after having this dream. All right, so this guy, he came on my radar this week. I was watching a YouTube video. A guy, he was sharing some prophetic insights that he's had, and he said he mentioned this guy's name, and I think I did a quick Google search to see who he was, but he wasn't like I just kind of forgot about it in a sense, right? So, I was like, I don't know about that. So, I had a dream last night, and in the dream, this is what was written. It said, Imani, a name that I have never heard before or seen before that I know of in my life. Imani was a man killer and wanted to kill Noah. And I was like, who was Imani? I never remember like Noah. The only Noah I know is from, the Bible, from, Genesis, right? And I'm like, who is Imani? So I started Googling this to see, okay, what kind of dream was this? This was weird. And really nothing came to surface. This did come up. Imani, this said there's several origins for this name. Mind you, I had never heard this name before in my life. The name Imani is primarily a male name of Swahili or origin that means faith. All right. Then it came down, and there's another origin, an Arabic origin, and its meaning is belief, faith, trust. Iman is a gender neutral name of Arabic origin. It is a variation of Iman, which with an I, which means belief, faith, or trust. Iman is especially prevalent among Muslims due in association with the Quran. All right. So in some cultures, it is gender neutral, and in some cultures, it's a female's name. You have in Persia, so it's different um, origins for this name, so to speak. But it all seems to come back to the same thing: belief, faith, and trust. And so I thought, well, how does that relate to, Imani was a man killer and wanted to kill Noah. So I just kind of, I thought about the dream, and it kind of troubled me a little bit because it was like, what in the world does this mean? So all of a sudden, I remember this guy here, Yuval Noah Harari. And it's very rare that I guess in Israel is more people by the name go by Noah, but in the United States we don't have that many. You very rarely run into someone by the name of Noah, right? And so I was like, this guy, he's came back to my remembrance. His name was Noah. And so I started digging. I started doing reading about this guy. And it literally blew my mind. Oh my gosh. Now, I'm not saying that this guy is the Antichrist. Of course, we do not know who the Antichrist. It will not be revealed until the Holy Spirit wants. But this guy is on my radar heavy now, because the way that he, I mean, it is very interesting. So I'll just go start here. It says Yuval Noah, this is Wikipedia, Harari is an Israeli author, public intellectual, historian, professor in the department at the University, make this a little bigger, of Jerusalem. He is the author of the popular science bestsellers Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind. All right, so they got a book up here. You can see it there. You can do your own research. Um, Another book, 2016, and here's another book he wrote in 2018. His writings examine, listen to this, free will, interesting, consciousness, and intelligence, happiness, and suffering. Now, those are three interesting topics for someone who is a professing atheist. Harari writes about a cognitive revolution that supposedly occurred roughly 70,000 years ago when Homo sapiens supplanted the rival Neanderthals and other species of the genus Homo, developed language skills, instruction society. So he's an evolutionist, right? So we as Christians are creationists. We believe that God created the man and the heavens and the earth, but his writings are based in evolution. His books also examine the possible consequences of futuristic biotechnological world in which intelligent biological organisms are surpassed by their own creations. Now, what does this mean? This is something, let me go on. He has said Homo sapiens as we know them will disappear in a century or so. All right. So this is more so dealing with, some kind of further evolution that is beyond God's creation. In Sapiens, A Brief History, Harari surveys human history from the evolution and emergence of Homo sapiens to 21st century. The book is based on his lectures in undergraduate world history class. All right, so you can go on into that. It talks about his early life, how he was raised by a secular Jewish family. His father was a state employed armaments engineer, and his mother was an office administrator. All right, so he really wasn't seemed like he really wasn't raised by the Jewish faith or Christian faith. All right, he studied in 1993 to 1998. All right, so it goes on about his career and about that book again, but it's some good stuff in here that I wanted to point out. All right. All right, personal life. Harari is gay. Keep that in mind. And he's been gay all his life. And in 2002, he met his husband, Isaac Yuhav, whom he has called my internet of all things. Now, that's an interesting phrase. Yuval has been also been Harari's personal manager. They marry in a civil ceremony in Toronto, and they live in Tel Aviv. Though he is an atheist, he is a professing atheist. Harari has practiced Vipassana, I think that's how you name it, meditation since 2000, and said that it has transformed his life. As of 2007, he practiced for 2 hours every day, one each hour to the end of workday, and every year undertook a meditation retreat of 30 days or longer in silence with no books or social media. I want you to remember this because I'm going to compare this to a Bible verse. He dedicated Homo Deus to my teacher who loved and taught me important things. All right. Harari is a vegan and says that this resulted from his research, including his view that the foundation of dairy industry is breaking the bond between mother and cow and calf. All right. He stated he does not have a smartphone, but in the interview described that he owned a smartphone for travel and emergencies. All right. Now listen to this. Harad during the COVID-19, he's starting to come more so up on the world stage now. In politics during COVID-19, following former United States President Donald Trump to cut WHO funding, Harari announced that he and his husband would donate $1 million to the WHO through Sapienship, their social impact culture. All right, more so getting into politics. Harari is among the critics of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and is specifically opposed to the judicial reform plans of the 37th government of Israel. In a conversation with Lex Friedman in 2023, he said, and now the Netanyahu um, I'm getting tongue tied. Government is trying to neutralize or take over the Supreme Court, and they've already prepared a long list of laws. They already talk about it that will be passed the moment that the last check on the power is gone. They are openly trying to gain unlimited power. Interesting. All right. There's some other interesting awards and recognitions that he's gotten, but the one I wanted to point out here, his Sapiens was top three for in New York Times bestseller for 96 consecutive weeks. Harari gave his first TED talk as a digital avatar. Now, if you don't, if you are watching this video, I strongly encourage you to go and watch my previous video that I did on. It's, I believe, it's titled Nebuchadnezzar and the Image of the Beast. All right. So that stuck out. He was the first ever to do a TED talk as a digital avatar, and I have that video here. All right. In 2018 and 2020, Harari spoke at the World Economic Forum annual conference in Davos. This is very important. If you do not remember, in 2020, that was the period of COVID. And in 2020, at the World Economic Forum, they announced the Great Reset. If you do not have that book, you can buy the book on Amazon regarding the Great Reset. And you can also watch this World Economic Forum where it's basically talking about a new world order. All right. So this guy seems to be coming more forth in world politics, policies, and is openly challenging Benjamin Netanyahu about laws, right? So the Supreme Court is about laws and how the country should be, judging. All right. Let's see. This is a list of all his published works. All right, so I think that is it. So what I wanted to show you here is some Bible verse. Now keep in mind what I just read to you, right? Now, like I said, we don't know who the Antichrist is, but that dream I had was really crazy, right? So this is Daniel 11:36-45. And the king, and this is talking, Daniel is having he's giving an account of, I can't remember if it was a dream or a prophecy that he has, but it's talking about the Antichrist. All right. I think it was something else on here. Let me check real quick because in his book, oh, all right. So this book here, his book Sapiens, A Brief History of Mankind, was originally published in Hebrew 2011 based on 20 lectures of an undergraduate world history he was teaching. It was then released in 2014 and since been translated into 45 additional languages. The book surveys the entire length of human history. Interesting. Starting from the evolution of Homo sapiens in the Stone Age, Harari compares indigenous peoples to apes in his fall of man narrative. Now, how can someone who is an atheist, basically, you are writing a pseudo false Bible. It's like you're starting from the beginning to from the beginning of mankind, creation of mankind, the evolution of mankind to now. So you are basically rewriting the narrative for man, leading up to political and technological revolutions of 21st history. The Hebrew edition became, oh, this is what I wanted to point out. The Hebrew edition became a bestseller in Israel and generated much interest among the general public, turning Harari into a celebrity. Wow. Joseph Drew wrote that Sapiens provide a wide-ranging and thought-provoking introduction for students of comparative civilization, considering it as a work that highlights the importance and wide expanse of the social sciences. So that's what I wanted to point out. This guy, he is like a celebrity. He has been you know elevated, all right, in Israel. All right. Harari's follow-up book, Homo Deus, A Brief History of Tomorrow, was published in 2016 and examines the possibility for the future of Homo sapiens. The book's premises outlines that in the future, humanity is likely to make a significant attempt to gain happiness, immortality, and godlike powers. Listen, if you have not listened to my YouTube video, oh my gosh, on this, on Nebuchadnezzar, I think it's called Nebuchadnezzar and the Image of the Beast. The Holy Spirit literally had me do an hour video on that, and in that the Lord revealed to me that in the end the Antichrist will seek to become immortal and have God and have to some kind of way get access to the tree of life that was banned, or a pseudo tree of life that was banned in the Garden of Eden. Go back and look at this. I'm just now reading this and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is giving me chills. The book goes on to openly speculate various ways this ambition might be realized for Homo sapiens in the future, based on the past and present. Among several possibilities for the future, Harari develops the term dataism, for a philosophy or mindset that worships big data. I go into the AI stuff, all right, in that video as well. Writing in the New York Times Books Review, I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that name, stated that although the book fails to convince me entirely, he considers it essential reading for those who think about the future. Wow. Wow. I'm just now reading some of this stuff and it's giving me chills, guys. Um yeah. Yeah, because I'm realizing the parallels with the other video that I did, and I'm just reading this. Harari's book 21st Centuries, published on 30 August 2018, focused more on present day concerns. A review in a new statement commented on what is called risible more dictus littered through the text, criticized Harari's style, and stated that he was trafficking in pointless asides and excruciating banalities. Uh, I don't know what that means. All right, here's some criticisms for him. So I'm going to look like he did a kid's book. All right, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to start. This is the Bible verses that I pulled from regarding the Antichrist. All right, and so this is giving a description of how the Antichrist will function in the end times. This says, and the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and he shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods. All right, so we saw in that on Wikipedia how he is saying that, we will be like, we will become immortal like a god, and shall prosper to the indignation be accomplished, for that is determined shall be done. Neither shall he regard the God of his father. So the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, this guy, he does not regard those as his God. So he claims to be an atheist, right? He has no God, nor the desire of women. It specifically said that the man is gay. Harari is gay, and he's been married to this guy for probably almost 20 years now. All right. He has no desire for women, nor regard any God, for he shall magnify himself above all. All right. But in his estate shall he honor the God of forces. Now, this, when it talked about his kind of let's see, yes, I don't know. All right. So when it talks about his let's see, it talked about here, it talked about how he was an atheist. I'm trying to find it. I'm sorry about this. Here it is. Though he is an atheist, Harari has practiced um, this. So this is some type of form of Buddhism. All right. Meditation. It said that it transformed his life as a, so he's exalting this form of meditation. It said that it transformed his life as a 2017. He practiced for 2 hours every day. Every year undertook a meditation retreat of 30 days or longer. So let's go back to the text here. It said, neither shall he regard the God of his father, so he's an atheist, nor shall he desire, check. Nor shall he desire of women, check. Nor regard any God, check. He has no God, for he shall magnify himself above all, but in his state he shall honor the God of forces, right? So and a God whom his fathers knew not shall he honor with gold and silver and with precious stones and pleasant things. Thus shall he do in the most strongholds with a strange God whom he shall acknowledge and increase with glory. So this practice, whatever this stuff is that he's doing, he has acknowledged this as one of his things that has transformed his life and brought him peace and insight, right? So for 15 years, so he is exalting this form of practice. All right. And at a time at the end, all right. So this is some kind of strange, guys, some kind of strange practice. I'm gonna click on it real quick to see. Let's see. Close. All right. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it said the Vipassani movement, also called in the United States the Insight Meditation movement, refers to a branch of modern Burmese that promotes bare insight to attain. What does that mean? Bare insight to attain stream entry and preserve the Buddhist teaching, which gains widespread popularity. Practiced by monks to restore Buddhist practice of meditation. All right. Interesting. A lot of those monks, that be levitating and all that, they're just straight out demon possessed. All right. So this is a way that the he can be possessed by the Antichrist. All right. I mean, by Satan himself as the Antichrist. This is a form, even though he doesn't believe in a God, but he's doing these practices, and this is a way that he can be possessed by allowing these forces, God of forces, within him. All right. All right. So this goes on. So that's the point. That's the part I wanted to point out here. He pretty much fits the description here to the T almost. I mean, I can't say anything else. All right. And through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart. And by peace destroy many, and he shall stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken. Mind you, that Buddhism is a religion of peace, and he has stated out of his own mouth that let's see, I could not have written this book without the focus, peace, and insight gained from practicing for 15 years. And he also regards meditation as a way of research. All right. So through this practice is what is possible that he can use to say he's a person of peace and he's been practicing this for the past and he knows how to craft these policies. Mind you, he is a historian. All right. So when we look at the type of books that he's written over the past year, it's Renaissance military memoirs, war. It's a book of a historical book of war, um, battlefield, modern war culture. He's written a book of money, Sapiens, Unstoppable. I mean, all this stuff that he's done and all these articles, technology, and all this um interesting, very interesting character. All right. So there was given to him a mouth to speak arrogant words and blasphemies, and authority to act. 42 months was given to him and open his mouth to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, that is, those who dwell in heaven. It was also given him to make war with the saints and to overcome him. So this guy, the Antichrist, will be someone that the Israel people trust. He's going to be, from my understanding, that he will be someone who is trustworthy. He has already gained, this guy, you all know, he's already gained the trust of the people. He's starting to rise politically in on the local and country Israel and the world platform. He's giving TED talks. All right, and then when you really sit back and you really dissect the Bible, you dissect this information that I am putting before you, and just sitting and thinking and meditating about it. Now, wouldn't it be interesting how when you look at Genesis 7 and 8 and how the God ended the world, Noah was the only person left from the old world, right? And he began the new world with Noah and his lineage, right? And wouldn't it be interesting that at the end of time, for this new world that we are in now, it was started with Noah and uh, his lineage, and we end with a Noah who is the Antichrist to end the world. I just thought about that. Like that would be wild. That would be wild. But I just thought about that, and it's fascinating to a degree, right?